You're with the Breaker-Leggers!
And we're in London's West End at the Noel Coward Theatre
to see the musical Half a Sixpence.
So stay tuned to find out how many legs,
Whether it's break a leg or leg it.
Before you go any further,
To make sure you've got your finger on the theatrical pulse,
news, reviews and interviews.
make sure you hit that subscribe button now.
So, Half a Sixpence. What do we know about this piece?
Originally a vehicle for Tommy Steele, many years ago, and also turned into a very successful movie musical. It's the story of Arthur Kipps as he's torn between two lovers.
Now, am I right in saying that this particular production started off at the Chichester Festival?
Why, yes, you are, and it was also nominated for several Olivier Awards this year after it transferred to London at the Noel Coward. This production has additional songs with music and lyrics by the writing duo team, Stiles and Drewe. They also added songs to the Mary Poppins musical when that was adapted for stage. Do you know any more Stiles and Drewe?
Am I right in saying that they also did Betty Blue Eyes?
They did do Betty Blue Eyes also, which was adapted from another movie.
As this was a star vehicle for Tommy Steele, this is also in a way acted as a star vehicle for the lead actor at this moment in time, Charlie Stemp.
Charlie's got loads of attention since taking on this role, and he's definitely on the up and up.
Was he up for an award for this as well?
Yeah, he was nominated for Best Actor in a Musical at the Olivier Awards. Just missed out to Andy Cole for Groundhog Day, which was another great performance.
Now, we're not usually a big fan of this type of old school musical, so it's going to be very interesting to see what we make of this particular production.
Yeah, we're not coming along to see this as people that are really massive kind of 1950s, 60s musical theatre lovers, so we're not its target audience. It'd be interesting to find out if they can win us over.
So, we'll let you know what we think at the interval. So we've come to the interval of Half a Sixpence at the Noel Coward Theatre in London's West End, which means it is time for the Breaker-Leggers
30-second interval breakdown.
Go! What do you think so far?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a really nice show. It's moving well. It's pretty dynamic in its staging. It's clearly a legacy piece, but it's been made modern in some of the techniques it's making use of. What about you?
Yes, I think it's staged very well. I am interested. I'm engaged. I think it's because it's quite dynamic. The choreography is good. It's moving slickly from number to number. I do care a little about what is going to happen to Arthur Kipps and his long-term love.
Reason to go back.
So we have come to the end of Half a Sixpence in London's West End at the Noel Coward Theatre. How did you find that?
Generally really enjoyable. Real kind of tap your toes, clap your hands type musical. It really does get you buzzing. You leave the theatre with a real feel-good kind of attitude, sends you out on a high. And for theatre in this vein, musical theatre in this vein, what more could you ask for, really? You know, you want to leave with a spring in your step and a song in your heart, and to pick out a happy tune. Simple tune. Pick out a simple tune. And you do.
Yeah, I think in the wrong hands this piece could be quite dull. But they've done a lot to make the orchestrations, they've added to the orchestrations. In terms of the production, it's really dynamic.
Slick
Staging, set is beautiful. It's quite shallow. Again, it's a shallow piece in terms of not much going on in terms of plot. One guy torn between two girls. I don't think it progresses much beyond that, with elements of class in there.
It does have touches of social class system and structure and feeling where you belong and where you're comfortable, and can you break the mould, can you step away from that. There are little touches of kind of early 1900s social class system, but that's not really politicalised. It's not thrust into the foreground of what the piece is.
So with that, it's still a really enjoyable piece. I really did enjoy myself, and you could tell the amount of effort that the director and choreographer had put into it to make it an interesting piece.
Yeah, Rachel Kavanaugh, direction by. She's done a great job here. As Nathan said, this could easily fall flat, very easily, but with the dynamic staging and Andrew Wright's real slick and interesting choreography, then they've got a great team on that piece.
And a great cast to be able to put it off as well.
Absolutely.
They gave 150%.
There wasn't a duff member in the cast. I think they were all wonderful and
great characters as well. I mean,
very distinct.
Many of them doubled up to the ensemble parts all over the place, as were some of the main characters. So a particular part I enjoyed was the character Chitterlow, played by Ian Bartholomew. I thought he had great character, great presence,
good comic timing.
Yeah, being the actor type. Again, he doubled up. I think he was a vicar at one point, so with comedy teeth, but he was great.
We also really enjoyed Emma Williams's portrayal of Helen Walsingham, so the one of the two girls that Arthur Kipps is stuck between. She has a beautiful singing voice, but totally believable in her role. Her stage presence was incredible.
I thought that was what I really liked about it, is that her performance was really grounded. She gave a real honest performance, as well as a great vocal. Do you know, that's the one part that I didn't think was resolved. It kind of finishes on a real downer for her.
Yes, and she doesn't. It does leave you wondering what's going to happen to her and her family. Really, I mean, without giving anything away, because we don't want to do any spoilers.
No,
but you do.
I did feel a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit shame really, because you do grow to like her as a person. She wants to overcome the class system. She wants to break down barriers. She's almost, for a early 1900s debutante, she's almost a kind of suffragette, power to the people revolution type mover, which is amazing for the time period, and she played that so well.
She did. Also enjoyed the actor who played her brother.
Yes, who played James Walsingham, and also doubled up as the photographer in the did Flashband Wallop.
A very camp photographer, but I think because we'd seen him play the brother beforehand, it was a nice light relief, and I can only imagine he must relish playing both of those characters.
Yeah, his name was Gerard Carey, and he was great. He was really great, very watchable is what I would say. I would happily see him in other things, portraying other characters. He's got a real draw about him, and I liked his choices.
He was great, and cast from young to old. I think John Conway was also in this piece. I thought he was great as well. Playing a number of characters.
Playing a number of characters, real all-rounders in this cast. I'm just flicking through the programme and I'm just thinking, wow, they were all really good.
Well, one thing we must say as well, the set I thought was great.
Yes.
So, set designer.
Simple yet modern. There wasn't too much of it.
Ever so slick.
We've seen 42nd Street recently, which there was a lot of set that just didn't need to be there really. But this, everything had a purpose. It was all justifiable. There wasn't too much of it. Let the performers come to the front of the stage and be the draw, and that was what it was. It was a great set, but simple.
Orchestra on stage at the back, on top of very high rostra. Also use of projection. They had a revolve, but it was with 5 rings, a central ring, and then 4 rings that moved, which added some incredible dynamics to rehearse. That must have been interesting.
Yeah,
but they made great use of it.
They did make great use of it. That being said, there were a couple of things that I didn't particularly enjoy personally. I struggle with these legacy musicals just on a whole. Like I said before, there's Gerard Carey right now in the background.
He was very good.
He was very good. I struggle with these old style musicals that just don't have. I like things with a bit of a message. I like things with a bit of something to think about. And you can leave the theatre feeling elated, but this is going to fade eventually. And that I like to be left with something that I can really reflect on in terms of story. I wouldn't want to see this done particularly in a rush to see it done anywhere else as a piece. I'm glad I saw this production, but if it was done somewhere else with another cast, I wouldn't be rushing to buy tickets.
Yeah, I'd say that's the only thing. The story is very shallow, there's not much to it. Yeah. But it was pulled off well.
Also, some really strange moments with the commoner girls, what I call them, the lower class workers, who in some scenes had a real problem pronouncing their H's, in so much as the song Half a Sixpence, where it's half a sixpence is better than half. And then they had a song where it was all that a girl really wants is a touch of happiness, where they suddenly had the ability to pronounce their H's again.
Why do you think that is?
Why do you think that is? Could it be because that having girls, all they really want is the touch of happiness, might be a bit far?
So,
the character of Arthur Kipps was played by Charlie Stemp, and he was nominated for Best Actor in a Musical at this year's Olivier-nominated. Didn't win, but what a talent. He is an absolute talent.
He suits this role very well. It's very cheeky, chappy, smiley, you want to love him.
He's
very
cute
talented.
as well. He's so cute.
He's cute, he's very thin, very young, very talented.
And he's going on to be in the next panto at the Palladium later this year, so onwards and upwards for Charlie, and well deserved too. Some touches of direction I didn't much like about what they did with his character, in so much as he was a bit Norman Wisdom-esque, but any opportunity for an arabesque,
he turned and twirled and turned and twirled and twirled.
but just for no reason, just couldn't walk from one area of the stage to another, almost like our 9-year-old has to put in a turn, has to be, when kids like run around, they can't just walk, they have to gallop, and he was very much like that, and that kind of grated on me a little bit as the piece went on. I was like, just walk.
I don't know how much of that is meant to be the character. I don't know the original very well, but there was a lot of turns and a lot of twirls. But apart from that, he did a great job, and he's had a lot of accolades and acclaim for this particular portrayal.
Absolutely, he's a very capable actor.
Yes.
So, I bet you're wondering how many legs for this one?
Well, for Half a Sixpence here in London's West End at the Noel Coward Theatre, we are going to give 4 legs.
Yeah, it's for what it is. You're not going to get much better. If you like the feel-good musical with a everyone clap along at the end number finale, then this is the one to see for that.
Yes, it's quite a sentimental piece. The audience were applauding well before the curtain came down and the last note was sung, such is the warm feeling you get at the end. The audience were on their feet. I think everybody on all 4 balconies from the stalls to the top were on their feet, so it was well received. You do get a nice warm feeling.
It's a lovely touch of nostalgia. It's a lovely hark back to a more simple time, where people consider that to be a happier time, and you're going to be left with that warm fuzzy feeling of, why can't things be as they used to be?
Well, that's what we thought.
What did you think?
Let us know.
Yeah, have you seen the show? You're coming to see the show. You've only got till September 1st to catch this production, so head down to the Noel Coward. We'd love to hear what you think.
Leave your comments below.
Like, subscribe,
share,
follow us on Twitter. We're the Breaker Leggers, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye!